So I've been doing these videos for almost a year now. And when I saw this question, I realized I've never answered it. I've never actually talked about where I grew up, where I went to school, and how I became a personal injury lawyer with my own practice and 11 people working for me. So sit tight and I'll tell you the story. So I grew up in New Jersey. Is he taking a poop? My dog decided to take a poop during an About Me video. Anyway, I grew up in Monmouth County, New Jersey. When it came time to go to college, I was looking for places that were near my grandparents who I was close with. They lived in Davidson, North Carolina. I got connected with Furman University and loved it. It's about 3,000 people, something like that, which was a good size for me at 17 years old, because if I would have went to a place like the University of Georgia, where I went for law school, I would have died or been arrested or not be a lawyer. So at Furman, I was involved in the mock trial teams. We were really good, mainly because we had really good coaches who were practicing lawyers and volunteered a whole lot of time with us. And that got me interested in being a lawyer. While at Furman, I worked for U.S. Senator Lindsey Graham. This is like 2005, 2006. And at the time, he was a really good senator. He's now a fucking lunatic. But he helped me, to his credit, his staff helped me get a job with Fox News Channel in New York City. I worked there, worked my way up to be an associate producer, and worked mainly for the daytime shows, Bill Hemmer, Shepard Smith, when he was there. And at the time, Fox News had a slogan, fair and balanced. They've given up on that slogan, rightfully so, very rightfully so. But I thought for a while there I would go into TV news. So going down that road, I worked for Cox Broadcasting, which at the time owned 16 TV stations across the country. Being based in DC, we did national news stories with a local spin that would then be broadcast on your local news. So if you were in El Paso, Texas, you might have thought I was your local TV news reporter just stationed in DC. But I eventually decided I didn't want to do that for a lot of reasons. One is you work at TV stations on 2-year contracts with the idea that you'll keep moving to larger stations, and I didn't want to spend my life moving around. I also wanted to be paid. I mean, those people do a tremendous job and a very difficult job, but local news folks get paid shit. So I decided to go to law school. My law school application process is a little bit interesting. When I was at Furman, I taught the LSAT for Kaplan, the Kaplan test prep. And to do that, you have to have a good LSAT score. When I went to actually take my LSAT, I got a not so great score, and I was very surprised. It didn't make any sense. So I took it a second time and got a score that was more reflective of how I'd been doing. Still have no idea how that happened. I swear I misbubbled. But that meant I had 2 scores that were drastically different, to the point where I had to write an addendum on my applications to explain why my scores were so different. And I didn't have an explanation. It just was what it was. So I applied to a whole lot of schools across the whole spectrum because I didn't know what they would do. Would they average? Would they throw out the bottom one? Would they think I cheated? So I got into a lot of schools, thankfully, and I decided to go to the University of Georgia. If you haven't been to Athens, Georgia, pick a football game weekend and go. It's awesome. I went to law school there for 3 main reasons. First, it's a really good school. The second, it's affordable. I was given in-state tuition plus scholarship, and I was able to graduate without being saddled in crippling debt. I'm on the alumni council now, and that is one of our biggest, proudest initiatives, is keeping Georgia extremely affordable. I think we're ranked number 1 and have been for the last 3 or 2 out of the last 3 years as best bang for your buck, basically. There's my pitch. And the third thing, and maybe this is the most important, is that it is the largest and best feeder school into Atlanta. And Atlanta is a huge market, I mean, just by the sheer number of people in the business and all that. So compared to a place like New York or DC, where you have 40 law schools all feeding into there, Georgia is the law school that feeds into Atlanta. So I thought I had really good job prospects. So I started law school in 2008 into 2009. That was my first year. And that's when the economy came crumbling down. It was really, really scary. I spent most of my first year, other than going to classes, trying to get a job. And I was sending letters and emails and calling people, everyone I knew. And I was able to get an internship, 2 of them, in Knoxville, Tennessee, one with the Tennessee Court of Appeals with one of the judges there, and one with a Knox County criminal court judge. That's where Knoxville is. That judge, fun fact, ended up going to jail after I worked for him for selling and buying drugs from criminal defendants. While at Georgia, I was on the national moot court and national mock trial teams. I won a bunch of intra-school competitions, and I was also on a journal. It wasn't my thing, but I was on a journal. My second year in law school, I did the on-campus interviews, and I was able to get a summer associate position for the end of my second year with a law firm named Troutman Sanders. It's now Troutman Pepper. It's an Atlanta-based firm that at the time had about 800 lawyers. I worked there in the summer and then got a job offer. So came back to Athens for my third year, already having a job in hand, and screwed around, drank a lot, and had a great time. I was on the product liability and business litigation team at Troutman. I defended big businesses when they were involved in significant personal injury cases or other business disputes. I worked there for 3 years, I think. I liked the job on a day-to-day, but it wasn't what I wanted to do. Now, if you've ever read any plaintiff's lawyer's website, this is the part of the story where they say something like, and then, after years of fighting for businesses, Mike decided to rediscover himself and rededicate his practice to helping only injured people. And look, maybe some people have some sort of epiphany and decide to rededicate themselves, but I didn't have that. I decided I wanted to have my own law firm. My parents had their own business when I was growing up. They ran it out of the house, so that's what I saw day in and day out, and I wanted the ability to be able to work on what I wanted to work on, when I wanted to work on it, and with who I wanted to work on it. But I didn't think that I was ready to have my own law firm because I didn't think I knew enough. Generally, personal injury lawyers fall into two categories. One, and I don't mean to be rude, but this is the truth, it's people who had to hang their own shingle, start their own law firm because they didn't have any other options. And so they just figure it out. And some of them do a great job and figure it out. Some of them don't because they don't have the training, they don't have the experience, and they didn't have someone teaching them. So I decided to go the second way, to get trained by an actual personal injury lawyer. So I went and worked at a law firm that is well respected in town. I then joined up with two of my buddies who had just started their own law firm and worked with them for a year, which was really cool because I got to see a law firm pretty much from the ground up. And that's when I thought I was ready to have my own law firm, and that's what I decided to do. In 2015, I started my personal injury law firm. That firm at the time was me, and only me. It was 8 months later that I hired a paralegal part-time. So pretty much for the whole first year, I was the firm with a little bit of help. I was doing everything. When the firm started, I had no cases. I mean, maybe I had 2 or 3, and in fact, one of the cases I had wasn't a winner because my client was actually at fault and ended up dropping the case and saying, I don't think you'll win. So I had to immediately develop business, and my strategy in my first year was anything and everything. The most useful strategy I had to get business was telling people, I need your help. Give me your business. Give me your cases that you don't want, or give me a case that doesn't fit your firm, and I'll do a really, really good job. When a lawyer refers another lawyer a case, they both share in the attorney's fees, so lawyers have a financial interest to refer cases to good lawyers so that way they can be paid on the back end when the case settles too. So in my second year, things started to really pick up. I had a $3 million product liability settlement. I had a couple other $1 million settlements. I had a $1.7 million jury verdict, and to be doing that 2 years or less into your practice is pretty rare, and I was really, really proud of that. So started to hire other lawyers, a little more support staff, and we've grown now to 4 lawyers and 7 support staff, paralegals, case managers, an office manager, and my team is absolutely awesome. If you watch my other videos, you'll hear me talk about how awesome they are and how part of my job, maybe my main job at this moment internally in the office, is to keep everyone happy. So the hardest part of being a law firm owner is that you have to do a lot of different things. You wear a lot of hats. 1 minute you're the marketing professional doing a video like this. The next minute you're the skilled labor who's working on a personal injury case that's really important. The next minute you are in your HR mode, hiring and firing if you absolutely have to, or working on benefits for your employees. So there's a lot of different jobs, but every day is different. To give you an idea of how different days can be, I mean, just yesterday, I was in federal court arguing a motion in a wrongful death case where we've already got a partial $1 million settlement, and we're on the path to getting much more. Today, I've decided to make this video, and then I've got a call with a lawyer in a different case, and I'm meeting a new client whose child was injured in a pool. So the days are never the same, and you're always learning about your clients, about what happened to them, about the businesses that hurt them, and it's really, really interesting. So that is my, almost 10-minute summary. There goes my dog again, probably take a shit. Oh no, now he has a stick. It's stick time, apparently. I'm gonna go take that stick from him, but real quick, I make these videos because I wanna help people. I wanna make lawyers better, law students, I wanna answer their questions, consumers, I wanna help you guys. And I want you to understand the civil justice system and how lawyers work. If you have questions, let me know and I'll try my best to answer them. Thanks for sticking this video out.